I'm getting that there was an energy right from the beginning that something doesn't feel right. And then the success card flies out. So the Warrior. What is that? Okay, there's something about the eyes in this that kind of are giving me like hunter vibes. And then I'm seeing a bunch of other eyes and faces in this picture, and whatever this is on his chest, it kind of looks to me like, let me see if I can get it to focus. Bars, like a face behind bars, like trapped. It could be someone who's been to jail before or is trying to stay out of trouble. We got honesty. I think there's somebody who knows the truth and isn't saying anything. They witnessed it at this party. Maybe they were threatened to keep quiet. There could be information about this that they're not talking about because they want to keep it quiet. I'm just hyper focused on this. It's so crazy because there's something about this that's giving me the vibes of like, you know how sometimes a serial killer is really, really charming and attractive and is really good at like pretending to be something that they're not, but there's that thing in them, and that the eyes change. I'm kind of getting that with this. Like there's this, oh, okay. There's this person who just, and I'm getting a male who maybe didn't seem threatening at first, came across as like trying to help or take care of her, and then changed. I'm just seeing a bunch of eyes in the background of this picture. Almost like his face, they had like blew it up and enhanced it. Like there's an eye here, right in there, and a nose. I'm just getting like a person who just has a dark energy, but is really good at kind of keeping it under wraps. Let's see. The numbers are 39, 2, and 26. I really can't shake the feeling of this man. Like, it's almost like a piercing, like piercing through my soul kind of gaze. Maybe he was watching her all night. There's something that's making me feel like, with this card, like something official. Somehow could be related to an official, someone in the town who has power. My hair is standing up all over. I'm also getting now that there could be some sort of like documentation or record of something. The 4 of Cups. I get a strong feeling that she was left alone, and maybe she was approached by this man who was kind of at the party looking for an opportunity like this. And she refused his advances. It just made me feel like this is Kiely laying in the car, taking a break. Maybe she was too intoxicated and needed to sober up. So she went and she laid down in the car to rest and was approached. Now I'm shaking. Because I'm almost feeling like she's laying, like, you know, when you're drank too much and you're just fucking like out of it and you're just trying to sober up. And like, almost like this was her perspective. Like if he approached the car, you know, she's seeing him like that. I don't know if I can make any more sense. And just the way his eyes look, like it's like you already know. Shit. was also making me feeling like her perception was off, you know, like her head being upside down. You know, like she'd be seeing things from a different perspective, like a cloudy mind. Yeah, I'm getting chills now, like a cloudy mind. Like maybe she didn't realize she was in danger initially, but I am getting the sense right away of like something's not right or something's off. But just being so, you know, out of it. And just kind of like, no, I'm fine, leave me alone. I don't need your help. Because I do feel like somebody came in, like they were there to help. And almost like took advantage of her and the situation. Yeah. I'm feeling strongly that Kiely went to lay down in the car and sober up. In this picture, there's a girl with 2 stopwatches. And I think she was concerned about getting home in time. So when she went to text her mom, she decided that she was going to stay in the car and get some rest. I think they left her there because also in this picture, you know, there's the car, the chariot, the carriage, and walking away from it. And it's in the dark. And this person is moving towards what I'm perceiving in this is the party. This is actually looks like a building, but when I hold it like this to me looks like trees with a bonfire, and this person is leaving behind the vehicle and going back towards the party, running out of time. Okay, and when you put these next to each other, there's Kiely resting in the car and her friend leaving her alone. And let's just think about this logically. If you have been a teenager before, this is going to sound like, yeah, this is a little simpler. When you are hanging out with people who are your acquaintances, but you're not really friends, you don't really care about that person. I've seen it happen so many times where people are at a party and get drunk and the group leaves somebody behind because of their own agenda. They have something else they want to do. There's somebody at the party that they're interested in. They don't want to sit in the car and babysit their friend and help them get better, so they walk them to the car. They make sure she texts her mom, and then they're like, fuck, what are we gonna do? She only has so much time before she needs to go home. She can't drive, which makes sense why they would leave and go find another ride. But she didn't leave with them to go back into the party. They left her alone in the car by herself while she was not okay. And shit, I remember one time being at a party when I was in high school, and one of my friends had an older brother who was like going into college, and we were like freshmen, and they had kegs and stuff there, and I didn't know shit about fuck, and I drank too much. And the same kind of thing happened to me, actually. We were all my friends, like a group of people. I had way too much to drink. I started throwing up, and they took me upstairs and put me in a bedroom and like gave me like a trash bag or like a trash can to throw up in and left me there. And that can go south real quick. Luckily, I'm here still, but it could have just been a situation where they left her alone. They didn't care because they wanted to go back to the party, have fun, and do like their own thing, and they didn't want to babysit someone all night. So they're like, here, got her settled in there, you know, here's this, here's that, text your mom, and just left her there to go do their own thing. And it wasn't like a situation how I'm still here, like shit got bad. Which would make sense too, why the friend would say, I went back to the party to find another ride after she had told her she'd give her a ride because she knew she was too drunk to drive. That all makes sense now. Or she was just gonna stay there, spend the night there, because she knew already that there was no fucking way that she was going to be okay in the amount of time that she had to be where she needed to be. And she didn't want to be stuck there with her camping out in a car all night, so she found another way, which would make sense too why the friend said she left, and then she got a phone call from Kiely later on because she left her and maybe she was all not okay. And you know how you'll like come to in that? Even if you're sick and thrown up, for example, and you have the flu and you're vomiting and then you like pass out and go back to sleep and you come back to and you're like sick again, maybe she had enough energy to get up in one of those things, and she realized she's alone and where are my friends, and she stumbled back out to the party looking for them, which would make sense why Kiely would call Sammy, that's her name, and say, hey, do you need a ride home? And because they left her alone there. So when she did come to, and that's why Sam's like, oh, I heard her back at the party, I heard people there. So that's her being like, yeah, she was okay last I talked to her, but Kiely's like, where are you? You left me here by myself? I thought you needed a ride. And maybe that's where this comes in. Somebody coming in, seeing she's not okay, offering to give her help. Just went on a whole fucking thing with that, and I have other cards here. Three of Cups. Yeah, this person left her alone in the car to go back to the party. This person's at a tea party. Look, this is in the woods again with the string lights. Wasn't that something that somebody said, that there was like lights hanging up around where the party was? Everyone's drinking. To me, this rabbit looks like it's having sex with this teacup. I don't know why, people, but there were probably teenagers there having sex. This is a celebration too. Traditionally, it's a celebration, a party. Then we go from the 8 of Pentacles to the 9 of Pentacles. This just feels foggy to me now. I literally feel like this is just confirming everything that I just said prior to me looking at the rest of the cards after I went on a tangent about these two. So she left her, Sammy left her to go back to the party. And she woke up in the car, foggy, not clear-headed, but got up, and I think she ventured back out to the party to look for her friends because she was alone, and my hair is standing up. Excuse me. And notice how this goes from this person all, no, the fog's all around. She looks cold. Okay, and then this next card, which is like, to me, this feels like somebody spotted her. Like when she came out like this of the car looking for her friends at the party, someone spotted her and the opportunity. I just heard tricks are for kids. Before I heard tricks for kids, I said, look, that's a Mad Hatter, but tricks are for kids. And then Mad Adder. Maybe Mad Hatter. Maybe Sam was mad at her because she was too drunk to drive, because she did say things like, everything she drank, I drank. But there are people who are way more sensitive, like me, for example. If I'm gonna take drugs, it's gonna affect me way worse than somebody like my best friend, for example, can drink way more than I can drink. And I'm like gonna die if I even attempt to drink a fourth of that. So just because everything she drank, I drank, doesn't mean that she was okay. Kiely looked like a really tiny, skinny, thin girl. And maybe she just, shit, you go out and you drink on an empty stomach. You're a teenager, you're self-conscious, insecure about your appearance, maybe an eating disorder, whatever, and you go out and you drink and you party on an empty stomach and you have nothing in your system, you're not gonna be okay. Okay, so maybe, my hair's standing up at the thought of this. She wakes up in the back of the car, okay? She's not okay. She's foggy. She's freezing though. She's cold. She's in her little bodysuit and short and pants. And she wakes up freezing. I don't know what the temperature was there. She wakes up freezing. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but I feel like I'm clenching my jaw. Like, you know when you're cold and you're just like, oh my God, it's so cold. I feel that way. Like, she was freezing. She wakes up. She's like, where am I? Where are my friends? What's going on? She goes back out to the party, freezing, in her little tank top. Maybe that's where the whole, like, hoodie thing comes into play, too. All my hair is standing up. She goes back out there. And guys, I can't ignore the fact that with all this here, the warrior card is dead center. There's just this man watching over this entire thing happening here. Also here, this Mad Hatter, it looks like they're serving the drink. Maybe whoever gave her a drink, because I wish I could show this to you. Actually, maybe what I'll do is I'll put this as the, I'll take a picture when it's all over and put this as the thumbnail. But, you know, this man is over top of this, like this, in the center. Maybe this man was older, was serving the drinks at the party, Maybe they spiked something at the party, put something in the drinks. Sorry, I'm trying to tune in here. I feel like there's something else I'm missing and I'm freezing right now. Okay, so yeah, I feel like the drinking, it manifested quickly. The reaction to whatever Kiely ate or drank or whatever, the combination, I feel like this happened quickly. Her going from, you know, just not being okay. Like everything, it took all the focus, mentally, everything to be here, to be, what's the word? Like it's not fun and games anymore. Like all attention on like this is a situation. And now that the fog around this image of this woman is starting to look like angel wings. And I'm almost seeing this now too as you know, the snow and the cold, just the energy I feel is like I'm cold to my bones, and there's like this portal, and this almost feels to like passing over from this. Notice the energy here. She's surrounded by darkness. There's like almost like the kiss of death is what I'm getting. Like approaching, like the wings are forming. This is not a good situation. It goes from this energy all like this to party, and you know, it's quickly turns into this and then quickly into that. But there's such a contrast moving from here to here and here to here, then to here. It's almost feeling like she's arrived, or this is the passing over at the party. Did she pass away at the party while they left her alone? I'm starting to get a headache, and you can almost see here too, this person looks like they're comforting themselves, like self-soothing, like, you know, like I'm cold, or hugging themselves or trying to make themselves feel better, you know, like somebody would like just self-soothe, or when you're cold and you're like trying to warm up. What's that? It's so strange. You'll see me look at the card and the thing, because sometimes I see things when I'm looking here that I don't see when I have it here, and there's something there. I don't know what it is. Something black. Alright, this is interesting. So now these two cards just flew out and landed on top of the Four of Cups. And the Two of Pentacles. So it's the Seven of Wands and the King of Wands. Did Kiely have to defend herself against this man when she was left alone at the party? You can see he has blood dripping in the corner of his mouth. Or was this that Kiely had to fend for herself because Sammy left her alone in the car because there was this boy at the party that she was interested in? So she left her by herself. Okay, so there's this little gnat. And it made me bring in, God, that's so fucking annoying. Maybe Sam was annoyed and frustrated because she didn't want to babysit a friend because she had another agenda of what she wanted to do. We already know she wanted to stay at the party later from her original ride. Why? She was having fun, but it was really bad vibes when they got there, but it was so bad that she wanted to stay longer. She didn't want to leave because she was having fun and there was a person of interest there. Maybe this is who gave her a ride after she left. Kiely alone in the car. This guy gave her a ride and she was left there on her own. I'm getting that they are going to figure out who this person is. Truth is going to come out. I think that Sammy is lying to just not look like a horrible person or a horrible friend for leaving her alone in the car and then this happening to her. She's more concerned with how she's going to be perceived than I just think she's worried about that. Or there's some lies that she's telling about where she was and who she was with that night. Maybe like her parents don't know. I'm just noticing now on this picture of the party, there are magic mushrooms in this picture. There's also, what the hell is that? I don't know, there's a mushroom down here at the bottom. It kind of looks like a doll. See it? Passed out, laying like this. I think she got what she wanted and got to go back to the party, and she in the moment was thinking, you know, I'm getting what I want, this is what I want. Jesus, I can't shake the cold, my God. I feel like I want to just shiver. Did they go back to the party and get a hoodie and bring it back to her and put it on her because they knew she was cold, or because they knew she was going to be there overnight? So they, you know, they tried to like cover her up, but it was just so cold that night and she was intoxicated. It gets fucking cold in a car. Even if you're in a car, like, could this have been a situation where she just like fucking froze to death while just being messed up? Like, the combination of the two. So now we have 2 men in the spread. My head is pounding here, the back of my head, and like dully, like a little, like a dull, like aching pain here on the sides. I think that this Sammy person just wasn't her true real friend. You know when you have a frenemy? They pretend to be like real close to you, but they really fucking hate you inside. Like, she kind of didn't give a fuck that she was suffering in the car alone. That's why she left her there, because she didn't care. She wasn't gonna let it ruin her night. She was annoyed by it. She didn't take care of her because she really didn't fucking care if something happened to her. Unfortunately, something happened. Now, is she involved in what happened? Does that count? Leaving your friend drunk or under the influence of whatever, or just not being able to take care of themselves and just leaving them for dead, or leaving them to freeze to death? You know, how long did she wait before she came back and checked up on her? Was she okay then? Did something happen in the meantime between her leaving the car to go back to the party they all went to and when she came back? Because she said she told her she was leaving. But if she told her she was leaving, then why would she call her and be like, where the hell are you at? I thought I was your ride home. So she was just like, oh yeah, she's fine. I heard her at the party, she was fine. Everything she drank, I drank. She just was too drunk to drive. She's lying. I'm getting another thing now. You know how I say actually shuffling helps me like zone in. I'm getting another thing now. She was left alone in the car. She had to defend herself. Sammy went back to the party this King of Wands could have approached her in the car, knowing she was under the influence or knowing she was alone. And with the blood there, it just makes me feel like he's up to no good. Plus the King of Wands is going after his passions, very impulsive. He maybe saw the opportunity, moved in. And then with the Six of Wands being here, like getting what he wanted. We have the Nine of Wands to the Nine of Swords. It's feeling like another defensive energy. She's laying there and she's cold. And she's out of it. And then this energy comes in. Having to fight, go from this to move into this. This is the wounded warrior, and she was wounded in the sense that she was in no state to be defending herself. The Nine of Swords. I'm noticing here the glass broken behind this girl. She feels she's in cradle position. This also feels like a self-soothing position to me. Where you feel defeated, alone, you just collapse on the ground or the floor and curl up in a ball. There's all this shattered glass. This could be a window to a car. Shoes, but they're not on the feet, so she was really ungrounded. To say this, but I feel like that could be her in the back of the car, and this could be, you know, the hatch or the trunk. And she's just curled up back there. Shoes aren't on her feet though. Maybe that's just a pair of shoes. Just feels broken, defeated. There's something about this, she just feels so alone. Also, like, you know when you're freezing and you're trying to get warm and you like go under the blankets and you're like curled up and you're trying to, you know, like breathe to try to warm yourself up. just got my attention. Nothing is on accident. So, you know, I'm shuffling, and something's like trying to get my attention. I put the cards down, I look down, and I noticed this, which I didn't see initially. Remember how I said that she walked in the party cold or whatever, and it was like she was seeing the opportunity of just like, okay, there's something. Somebody saw their chance or whatever, but she goes from this to this. You see this circle here, and you see how alive this feels from this. Remember, and went from this to this. It was like some kind of passing over or crossing over. It could be from that to this, but then this is underneath of it. This here, and in this picture, there's the circle, and here it's shattered and broken. And now she's laying and defeated and curled up. And here she's standing upright. Now there's just a ray of light shining on her. I don't know why I just heard this, like, maybe she thought about trying to start a fire, or I don't know. I feel like there's stuff in my eyes. Alright, so this just fell in between this Six of Wands and this male here. So Three of Wands. She's standing in water, the skull in one hand, and I think that's a snake in another. What is behind her appears to be a circle. To me, when I first saw it, it looks like a rim of a tire. A tire with a rim going into the water. And there's all this stuff floating in the water. Noticing a belt here too, the belt on the pants. The way the pants are, they look ripped. She appears to be like have things tied around her arms and her back, and just in a bra, no shirt. Would it be between these two characters? I mean, a man and a woman. And what I'm perceiving is a girl, and a symbol of what I'm getting is the message about a car. Was Sammy in the car? And there was this person pretending to be her with this man who maybe pretended to help her. Like he had good intentions. It's also the plan. Like you had the plan, you made the plan, and now it's moving forward with the plan, which was the plan to do this. Did they come up with the plan to do this? I keep getting the energy from the face of this woman on this card, like, don't you fucking try me. Like, that kind of vibe, like, don't even fucking try it. It's calling my attention to the fingernails on this. There could be evidence underneath the fingernails. My hair is standing up. Something with their fingernails. Did she have acrylics and like one's missing or something? Or is there some DNA under the fingernails, or something? I just get this feeling of like, excuse me, choking. Like something stuck in the back of my throat. But someone trying to have power over another person. If there's somebody here who just enjoys having power and control, almost like I'm feeling like whoever did this perceived Kiely to be weak, even outside of her being under the influence or not in her right mind. They perceived her as just being weak, like having power in the situation or over her, or like being like smarter, and smarter in the sense of like game playing smarter, like manipulative smarter, like who enjoys the drama, or like I'm just getting pleasure from it. Like they enjoy it, they get off on it. It's like, am I the drama? Yes, this person was the drama. And almost felt like it's that like nobody else can win, like I will always win. I am feeling like it could have been some sort of injury to Kiely defending herself. I do feel like she tried and maybe, or fought in some way, like fought to stay awake. Maybe she was so cold she couldn't like stay awake. I just keep feeling like they just left her, like just kind of like if something happened they wouldn't care. Like maybe they came back early in the morning just to like check and she was still there and they found her. and she wasn't okay, and then they had to figure out what are we gonna do. Somebody wanted to do her harm, or they didn't care if someone did her harm, or almost hoped that someone did her harm because they like secretly were like a frenemy. Like maybe she was just a ride, but they didn't really want to hang out with her. You know how girls can be. Yeah, somebody was acting in their emotional immaturity, and they were impulsive, and they did something impulsively. I mean, guys, this girl looks like she's floating. Covered up in a sheet, a blanket. You see, my attention's being drawn to the hands again. She's holding on to something, or frozen, I'm always getting. And it just looks like bubbles all around her, like bubbles rising up around her. And this on the bottom literally looks like Elsa from Frozen. And same thing with the hands, and what is that, a snowflake? And looking like in the water and cold. Like, was she just like hypothermia? This guy just, his picture's staring at me again, and it's just like there's someone who just getting something about the car keys. He's just pretending to be somebody he's not. I don't know. Guys, this literally, to me, like, it's crazy. It feels like she's in the car and there's somebody on the outside of the window, like, floating by with shining a light in. Like, looking in through the window. hear a noise now, and I keep getting this paranoid feeling, like I'm being watched. I always feel like this is like someone discovering. She's holding a skull, but she looks like she found it. Like we found it. And then it moves to this, which is the 2 of Wands to the 3 of Wands. Now what? Skull in both. We found it, we discovered this. Now, here's what we're gonna do with it. We need to come up with a plan and put the plan into action. And this, to me, I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see this. I'm gonna have to like stop this soon. I'm like an hour into this. I'm gonna be having like a nightmare tonight. This behind here, I see like a person who's standing back there watching this be discovered. Like there's another energy here. I see a face, and it kind of looks like it's a little bit like a shocked, kind of like. And it looks like it's in the woods, and it almost looks too, like to me, like headlights are shining in. Like maybe another car came to check late at night or really early in the morning, like before the, like as the sun was coming up, and they had their car shining the headlights onto to see. I'm almost seeing this now as a rear view mirror. So maybe if you looked in the rear view mirror, this is what you would be seeing. So I don't know if that has any kind of like telling in which way the car would be facing. I don't mean the rear view mirror. The side view mirror. The side view mirror, I'm sorry. Like on the door. The mirror on the door. Like if you looked in that to see if you can pass out in a lane, like that mirror, like if you would look in it, that's what you would be seeing. So maybe that means, I'm feeling like me saying this is important, so I'm trying to talk it out. Maybe the car pulled up behind Kiely's car and shined the headlights from the rear onto like the rear of Kiely's car. So if you were sitting in the passenger seat and you looked in your side view mirror, you would see this happening. I don't know why that's important. But see the face? It almost looks like, oh, would you look at that? What are we gonna do? This person's fucked up. Six of Swords, I can't help what I mean, to me, I'm seeing the same thing. Headlights shining on to something. There's a spotlight onto something. There's a covering up, which looks like of a blanket. Something being covered up or hidden in the dark. But there's this beam of light shining down. And I mean, it makes you think too, because like, where's this light coming from? There's a lantern here, which would make you think it's dark out. So where is this bright light coming from? Is this the headlight of a car that was there, that maybe the car, they put it in neutral, there was another car there, and with the headlights on, they like drove behind the car and pushed the car in with a car? Well, no, would that car have went in too and slid down? I don't know how steep it was, but this does feel like slipping in, and the headlights are shining. It's trying to cover something up or hide something. And actually, this is water here, an edge with water. And it's like, we're just gonna cover that up. This is what I'm gonna say about this. This is how I feel. I feel like there was, I do feel like Sammy's involved. I feel like she's lying about her role in all of this, where as far as like she's failing to tell, like her leaving her alone in the car by herself at the party. I do think that there was some sort of foul play that happened to Kiely while she was under the influence. Someone took advantage of her. I do feel like that happened. And I don't know if this is where it, to me, I'm not 100% sure about what happened next. I don't know if after that took place, because I'm getting, someone might have known about what happened to Kiely while she was under the influence in the back of the car. Somebody might be aware of that happened after being left alone. I don't know if it was one of the friends brought someone back to the car, they took advantage of her. Kind of like I'm getting the energy of like, you know, like you hear stories of like they'll like gang rape a girl at a party, and like nobody jumps in and like does anything to stop it. I'm not saying there were a bunch of people, but I'm saying I think someone is aware that somebody took advantage of Kiely while she was under the influence. I don't know if then after that happened, they thought she's not going to remember this, whatever, they leave her alone again, and both leave, and then come back later and find that she's not okay. And it was a combination of things. Her being under the influence, and I feel like the temperature has something to do with this. And then I think maybe what happened was the people who came back to check on her came back because of whatever happened in the car with Kiely while she was under the influence. But then when they discovered her the way that she was, it was more of a like, oh fuck, my DNA kind of situation. Now she's not here. I'm gonna be responsible for that. So maybe like a rapey situation turned into her passing away, and then that being like, oh shit, you know, like we didn't kill her or anything like that, but because of the outcome, even though it's just teenagers at a party under the influence, an accident, you know, she was too drunk, there was drugs at the party, this and that. It was more became about shit, if they do like DNA or they find her or whatever, like they're gonna know, they're gonna come looking for me, so we have to cover this up. So it was like a murder No, it was an accidental kind of thing, but there was a lot of fucked up shit that happened within that window of time. And because the accident happened, it became a cover-up, if that makes sense. I think it was unexpected, and it became a, oh my God, what are we gonna do? And he is at the top and the center of all of this. All right, I'm gonna end it there. I just want to point this out. This was on the top of the bottom of the deck, staring at me. The truth is gonna be found out. And underneath that is the Ten of Swords. The truth came up from the bottom. And I do feel like they know more than they're saying, and either someone's trying to cover it up. There's an official person here that's trying to protect somebody and not allow something to come out, but it's gonna happen.